Hello and welcome to African Living Abroad. I am Jamhuri. I am here to share my international experiences, build bridges between cultures in order to make the world a better place. And I am enjoying my walk today, -5 on January 8th, 2023. And as I am in my favorite place, I am contemplating this year and what it means. And I cannot but avoid but think about 2022 and the year before that. And I will just get it out of the way and to say that 2023 for me is going to be a year that is full of gratitude, because last year it was a time for prayer for me. A lot of requests I made to the divine creator because I was in a tough place since 2021. And I just quickly say I had a personal crisis, health crisis, and I had a quantum leap. I found myself out of work for more than a year to just take care of my health. And I found myself in a cocoon, isolated from my community, and the place that I spent time in mostly was at home. And when a person is in that situation, there is no other place to go but inside your heart, inside you as a person, to think about a lot of things. And that's when I realized faith is really important in life. If you don't have a higher power to support you, you can easily disappear. And it's also a year that for the first time in my life, I experienced a lot of fear. I don't consider myself a really fearful person because I don't mind challenges and changes in life. But if it's something that I choose, and then it's easier to handle. But there are things that take you by surprise, and someone else maybe triggered it, and it affects you. I call it the arrow that flies by day or midday, and it hits you, and it changes your life. I also learned about the interconnected net of people and situations that other people can cause in their lives, and if you're connected to them, it derails you. And so that's what happened to me, and a lot of things happened. And I feel that at this point in 2023, I have acquired something that has really helped me to talk about these things. And I think I don't mind sharing personal stories, because my spiritual teacher said there are things in life that happen to us. We experience it, we live it, and then we share it, because at some point in life, there are other people needing to hear that. And I feel that the last week of December 2022, I had another quantum leap, and someone else affected that. A very positive person was sent into my life. So I'll also be talking about synchronicities in life. And those are life sequences that happen. Chance encounters with people or situations that affect us again and sets us into another direction in life. And fortunately for me, what happened in December was very, very positive, and it has had a very powerful impact on me. And I've had to, I was just waiting for that to happen, and I didn't know how. But I believe that I was also praying and asking for a change, for someone to come into my life to help me along in my lonely life. And I will be sharing about this as well. And one thing that I will talk about today is personal identity. This is something that I experienced last year, asking myself, who am I? And there are things that you cannot really experience, or questions you cannot face until you are put in a certain situation and you spend a lot of time alone, away from people, many hours at home where your family members are gone, and there you are stuck with yourself. And You know, today I read a message that it says that my situation in 2022 was divinely orchestrated in order to bring me, to cleanse me, to bring me to where I am now. Because in 2023 going forward, I know I am not the same person that many people have known me to be. But this does not surprise me. I know myself, and I know that the person I'm becoming has been there for so many years. And it's a person that I was really scared of because it's a very genuine person. It's a very self-revealing person. And when you do that, it causes you to be vulnerable, to be judged by people. And that takes me to this person. I will mention her name. Her name is Tina Wong, and she is a motivational speaker, and she's a person with a great gift of seeing other people's situations, and she's a guide, a spiritual guide. And I just happened to cross paths online, and I won a one-on-one Zoom call with her. And before that, I had attended her meeting called Unapologetically Me. And she was encouraging us to embrace ourselves and to be the best that we are and to accept ourselves with all our imperfections. You know, wow, you don't hear people talking about that mostly because many people want to hide and want to show the best part of themselves. So this person really triggered a positive change for me that I would have had to say yes to me. And so I am grateful for that. And I will be I've talked already in the past about synchronicities in life, or sequences of events that help you to connect with other people. And that causes also a change in you, or these people, you help them, but they help you at the same time. So if you would like to visit my other videos in the past, it's called Synchronicities in Life. So I've been thinking about what we need in life in order to really excel. And there is this thing we call personal power. And it may sound scary because when we think about personal power, it may sound aggressive. Someone who mercilessly goes over other people. But it's not that. It has a lot to do with your dignity, integrity, how you value yourself, self-esteem, and how you show up in life. And one of the things that I want to talk about today is one of the things is personal or self-identity. Who are you really? And this is something I've asked myself most of my life. And I think that I have found myself. And I find that I ask myself, if we do not know who we are, it is really hard to step up in life and face people, different kinds of people, situations, authority. And for me, living as a minority in Canada, in Manitoba, and having come here many, many years ago as a foreign student, where I found myself the visible minority, the only student from Africa or a black person in the college, in the dining hall, in the choir, in the church, I mean everywhere, in the town. I've had to face myself a lot. And I think this has helped me a lot to step up and say, well, guys, this is who I am. Or living in Germany as a visible minority. Germany is a great place. It was a great place for me for 11 years. So people who were worried about me when I first moved into Germany, because Germany got a very bad reputation after the First and Second World War. But living there for me, I just lived my life and I had no trouble at all. And I thought, you know what, I've always had to face myself, being that person that is alone. I mean, not alone, but visible. If anybody wanted to hurt me all these years, they would have done anything to me. You know, this is a tough topic. I do not like to dwell on it because for me, it is not a negative experience. And it's because I've had to bring my own cards to the table. It is just not about other people. It's how you play your life. How do you connect with other people to get to know you? You've got to be vulnerable, show them who you are, get to know them. You know, we are all teachers in this world. We share our lives. And so then I thought today about people like me who live in this country of Canada or other countries, immigrants. It is really hard in the beginning when you're displaced by choice or not by choice, and you live in a dominant culture. It's so easy to lose your voice because you don't know how to act. It's a different culture. It's a different nuances, different rules, different ways of behaving. And slowly you lose yourself to the bigger culture and it swallows you up. And when we talk about, also has to do with being an indigenous person over any country. And we all know that a lot of indigenous people have had a lot of changes happen to them due to colonization. And we have and the dominant culture that colonized them, changed them drastically, changed their names, changed their food, changed their habits, their way of dressing, so that you would not really understand this until you move out of your country and reflect back. And you realize, whoa, what happened to us? We have names that are not our names. We have behaviors that are not our behaviors. And we pride ourselves in a foreign culture, foreign language that isn't us. And I think that if you're listening to this and you're part of that group of people, you will understand that. And I think for me, from 2016, I have been on the journey of finding myself again as an African. Having grown up in Kenya, a country that was colonized by the British, and we have a sort of a mixture of Kenyan culture and the British culture. And a lot of people take British names, or whatever they call Christian names. And a lot of people pride themselves in foreign cultures, foreign languages. And having lived in Canada again, I had another experience. And in Germany. So I lost myself many times. But it was 2016 is when I started to ask myself questions. Something happened to me, and I feel like I was awakening to myself, to my truth, to my identity. And I will tell you, from that point on, things started to change for me. Because I saw that there are no other people, non-indigenous people, who change their culture to become someone else. No, all the indigenous people have had to change to become other people. And that upset me quite a bit. And that's how we lose our personal power. Because you lose yourself, you lose your name, you lose your... So anyway, I gotta say right here, I have returned to my name. That's called Jamhuri. And that's my childhood name that I haven't used for a very long time. But I started to accept that name and made it a prominent name for me. And I've also had to accept my African hair. No more, and I'm not wearing any more synthetic braids. I grew my own locks. Took a long time, but I wear them proudly. You will see them in the summer. And the more I returned to myself, the more I became empowered, the more I became courageous, the more I became happier. So I might continue talking about the different ways of empowering yourself. There are many ways, but this is the major one. When you discover who you are, when you accept who you are, unapologetically. Why would you apologize? Why? Because we are all different and we have a role to play in this world. And we exchange our cultures by being authentic. And once you know who you are, and then you would not allow people to push you around. And then you're able, then your voice will also rise. You can say yes, you can say no. You can make choices. You can not be afraid of your bosses. You can approach them about things you don't like. You become a whole being. And so this message is actually ends up being for indigenous peoples throughout the world. Accept yourself. When the new you is, or the authentic you is coming to call, say yes, because your power is returning to you. And it might mean you accepting, changing your life into who you truly are, accepting your names, accepting your culture, the way you dress up, the way you show up in the world. And so this is to encourage you. I'm not saying you should go out there and grab power, but you will know when your true self comes to call. And I would say yes to yourself unapologetically, because that's when now your real life starts to begin. It doesn't matter how old you are. This is the you that is the real you has been waiting for a very long time for you. You have just been hiding yourself from the world. And so this is my challenge for you. And for me, 2023, I will be accepting more and more of myself. And I'm curious about what I will experience. But I know I have a responsibility to myself, to the world, and to my Creator. And I'll have to forgive all that happened to us, cultures, and start anew. And so this is it for me from today. And I want to say, you know what? This is my challenge, is to challenge people in the world and to build bridges and to talk about so many things, about things that happen in life. I'm a social observer. I see what's happening and I interpret those things and I talk about them as stories. I loved sharing stories. What is your calling in life? You find that out. Let the true you show you the way. Bye for today.